This week on the DMV Lacrosse Round-Up, it's another week of the best lacrosse action in the area, including hits, saves, and highlights galore. We saw Cougars slaying Dragons, we watched Eagles soar past Knights, we witnessed Bulldogs taming Huskies, and we even came across a band of Tartans.
Welcome to the show!
Starting out in Montgomery County with two teams in the top five. Jake Mitchell with the give and go from Joe Kelly, and Wooten takes a 5-1 lead early in the second. Whitman's Chris Sanson answers with this low to high shot. Wooten leads at the half 6-2. Joe Kelly hits Austin Schoenfeld, and he finishes during a big third quarter run by the Patriots. Long stick Kirk Brooks on the clear, takes it all the way himself, shoots it, and puts Wooten up 10-2. Patriots cruise to a 13-4 win. Across the river into the Commonwealth for a big Northern Region matchup. Into the second, and John Aversa knocks down the outlet pass and takes it in for his third goal of the game and gives the Bulldogs a 3-0 lead. Herndon's Jack Hamrick fires this one home, and the Hornets are within one. Then tied at 3, and Aversa finds Reese Schnippel here, who buries it, and Westfield leads 4-3 at the half. This time, Aversa takes it himself and slips in the shot, 6-3 Westfield after 3. Into the fourth, and Eric slams this one into the back of the net. Aversa again, fakes, slips inside the defender, and scores his 7th goal of the game. Westfield wins 10-5. Like us on Facebook, where you can make suggestions, and follow us on Twitter for up-to-the-minute news and results. A huge game in the IC between two of the top teams in the DMV. The Bears' defense came to play as they shut out the Saints in the first half. Here in the third, Hank Brown scores to give Landon a 6-1 lead. This goal by Taylor Valencia on the feed from Jack Falk puts the Bears up 7-2 in the fourth. The Saints' Brent Armstrong somehow squeezes this turnaround shot in, but the Bears would come right back with this goal by Sean O'Brien. The Saints would score 3 goals in the last minute, this one on a spectacular move by Armstrong, but it was too little too late as the Bears win 8-6. Into D.C. for a matchup of teams from the Mill and the MAC. Brian Pacius starts the scoring off after avoiding 2 defenders and finishing top shelf. The Heights leads 3-0 after 1. Sidwell fights back in the second, Jack Soley using the face dodge and sticks the high bounce to cut the lead to 3-2 at the halfway mark. Sidwell's Max Nides pins this shot in the corner before taking the hit and tying the game at 3. Tied at 4, and the Cavaliers are on a run. Mark Canassa to Victor Herrangozo, and it's a 7-4 lead going into the fourth. Nide scores again, and the Quakers are within 2, but Patrick Martin finishes the game with his outside bouncer, and the Heights wins it 9-6. Over to the University of Maryland for a matchup in the Mill, and this one was all Calverton. Future Terp David Goodwin getting comfortable in College Park and finding Nick Mazza, who's lefty behind the back, is the first of 23 goals by the Cougars. Mazza again here with the double piper. Then it's Goodwin's turn to use the pipe. Middleburg's Harry Ruck sneaks around to put the Dragons on the board, but they would not get any closer. Dylan Dooley isolates from up top and sticks home the lefty rip. Cougars would go on to win 23-9.
Madlax is DC, Maryland, and Virginia lacrosse. Check out madlax.com for tryout information for the DC area's most competitive summer All-Stars program and summer camps for boys and girls. Build a strong case with Madlax.
1, 2, 3, Madlax!
And now it's time for the College 30.
I think the first thing that you want to evaluate is this letter personalized to me at all? Does it reference anything specific about me? Does it reference perhaps a letter or an email that I had already proffered to the school? Does it reference my skills or where I'm from or something about me personally such that it's not something that was sent to 10,000 students at one time? If it is, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with getting one of those letters, but where you might want to go, what the next steps might be, are going to vary significantly based on how personalized it is and whether it's been personalized at all.
If you need help constructing and executing a successful college selection plan, visit BrahmaConsulting.com for more information. To the nation's capital for the Motive Pure Game of the Week, a matchup between the top 2 teams in the WCAC. The Eagles get on the board first when Connor Reed finds Sean Whitcomb. Later in the first, Whitcomb finds Patrick Myers, and Gonzaga leads 2-0 after 1. In the second, Matt Blondino scores for Riken, and that was the only 6-on-6 goal by the Knights the entire contest. The Gonzaga defense was smothering all day, but it was a different story at the other end. Here, Joe Fitzpatrick runs through all 6 defenders on the way to his first of the day. Alex Corboy finds Jimmy Kuzma, who finishes and extends the lead 5-1. Now to the third, and Whitcomb finds Myers off the quick restart, 9-1 Eagles. Riken would score back-to-back man-up goals, but that would be it for them on the day. Here's a great feed from Myers to Fitzpatrick, who completes the hat trick, and Gonzaga wins it 11-3. Blondino had a hand in all 3 goals by SMR.
Our defense has really good chemistry. We've been playing with each other. We played with each other last year. I've known Matt Borda since I was 2 years old, so I think it's all chemistry really, and us working together and really playing good one-on-one defense and filling in backside really because they work the ball around well.
It feels really good knowing that they're a good team, and we played really well. Whole team, our defense played fantastic. Our goalie played awesome as well, and we're just moving the ball around pretty well.
The Game of the Week is brought to you by Motive Pure, reinventing rehydration. Woodbury Forest making the long trip north to play their arch-rival Episcopal. Maroon lawn stick Buck Armstrong scoops the ball in his own end, goes coast to coast and says, "Welcome to Alexandria." Maroon had plenty of opportunities to score early, but goalie Ben Pugh made save after save to keep the Tigers in it. Here in the second, Todd Fedek sticks the lefty rip on a feed from Matt Ingram. Timmy Phillips finds Johnny Bond, who finds the back of the net to tie the game at 4. But the Tigers led 5-4 at the half. Third quarter, all Episcopal team. EHS led 7-5 after 3. Todd Fedek's third goal of the game pulled the Tigers within 1, but the Maroon would score 2 more for the 9-6 victory. To the nation's capital, where St. Albans and Flint Hill would have a low-scoring battle. Nick Peterson gave the Huskies a 1-0 lead, but that would be their only lead of the game. Bulldogs on the break, and Cormac Dugan finishes to tie the game. The Bulldogs led 2-1 at half. Third quarter, Stephen Peterson on the assist from Tommy Shumway, 3-2 Bulldogs. Then Hank Balaban scores his second of the day, and it's 4-2. Flint Hill cut the lead to 1, but Dugan would score again on the assist from Matt Sneesick. That's the way it ended. St. Albans stands strong at home. Another DMV top 10 battle, the Langley Saxons trying to take down one of the top teams in the area, and they would get the early 1-0 lead. Andrew Spivey had some nice saves to keep it tight in the first. This outside crank by Chris Hampton gave Prep the 2-1 lead going into the second. Prep with momentum, Bear Ultimus completes the natural hat trick with this goal on the feed from Colin Giblin. Liam Giblin takes 2 shots here, and the second one goes in to give the Little Hoyas the 7-1 lead halfway through the second. Luke Salzer ends the Saxon drought with this laser off the feed from Ahern, but they couldn't muster much more offense as Prep goes on to win, 12-3.
Sperry Tents, Washington, D.C. offers a range of tents, lighting, and flooring for weddings and events of all sizes. Working for Sperry Tents is also a great summer job for high school and college students. Visit us at sperrytentsdc.com.
Back across the river to Potomac as Bullis hosts Paul VI. Panthers get on the board first as Nick Carpenter splits 2 defenders and takes it all the way to get the early lead. Then it's Matt Opsel's turn to split the defenders, and we're tied. Connor Murphy takes this feed from Sean O'Brien, puts it in the low corner, and the Panthers lead 2-1 after 1. Nick Fisher scores back-to-back goals, and Bullis is back up 3-2. Another goal by Murphy on the nice look from Chris Camarca, and we go into the half with Bullis leading 4-3. Nice backup and feed by Opsel to Drew Petkovich, 5-3 Bullis. Scott Primo's extra man rip ties the game at 5, and that's where we stand going into the fourth. Brandon Burke with a couple of great saves to keep the Panthers in check. Matt Opsel's third goal of the game ended a 3-0 fourth quarter run, and the Bulldogs come out on top.
Defense was a little tight. Offense wasn't really possessing the ball, and I got lucky on a couple of them, and then pushed up the field, and offense did their job and got the win.
Staying in Montgomery County for a battle between Walter Johnson and Walt Whitman. Here's Jake Verner dishing out his third helper to Cole Miller, who drives it home and gives the Wildcats a 3-0 lead in the second. Whitman goalie Alex Trier has some big saves to keep the score tight, but WJ would eventually pull away. Michael Snodderly's second goal of the game gives the Wildcats a 7-1 lead. They go on to win it 8-1. This week's player in focus, Bullis Junior long stick midfielder Nick Fields.
Nick actually picked up a long pole for the first time in 8th grade, and then in 9th grade he was on the varsity just because of his sheer athleticism. Has the ability to shut down opposing teams' players, scoop up ground balls, lead transition. He's just a phenomenal athlete.
I've played with Jeff Gillespie's team in the Bethesda program ever since 3rd grade. I played with Kyler and Brandon Burr and all them. We've all been really close since about elementary school.
You know, Nick's very focused on becoming a great lacrosse player. He's a very good football player, plays safety and wide receiver. He's certainly drawn some interest from college football schools across the country, but has really dedicated himself to improving himself as a lacrosse player. So he's got his stick in his hands almost year-round. Really focused on becoming the best lacrosse player that he can, knowing that if he wants to be successful at the next level, Johns Hopkins, 2 years from now, he's going to have to go in there ready to go.
I like to get up and down the field. It's very physical. I like that aspect of the game too. And also you got to be smart while you're playing it, so I really like the mental aspect of it too. But overall, just the speed of the game and everything I really like. Right now I'm using an Edge. I'm using a Brine Edge. I believe it's the Edge 3 or something like that. And then I'm using a Gate Ice as my shaft. So, and I'm really liking it right now. Joe Stuckey, our face-off guy, actually strings all my sticks for me. So I'm not too particular about that, but you know, you gotta take care of your stick. I was gonna say levels, but that's the obvious answer. I probably have some Young Jeezy bumping in my. He really gets me pumped up, so that's probably what I listen to.
He's a very good teammate. You know, he pushes his teammates, but also knows how to keep it light at times, and so I think that's important when one of your high caliber players has the ability to do that.
We've got a great core of captains this year, Nick Fisher and Kyler Gillespie, our senior leaders this year. And we got a great goalie in the cage, Brandon Burke. So, I mean, we're really tight. We're a really tight-knit group, and that's helping us out there on the field.
The Player in Focus is brought to you by Mad Lax. Mad Lax is DC, Maryland, and Virginia lacrosse. And now Tommy Joe's presents the rankings. In Montgomery County, Springbrook enters the picture at number 5, sporting 7 wins, their only loss coming at the hands of Sherwood. Status quo in Northern Virginia, where Langley is the only team in the DMV to stay on top of their regional top 5 every week this season. On the private scene, Landon and Bullis continue to climb, while Gonzaga is still on top. Overall, Gonzaga stays on top for the 3rd week in a row, and these 10 teams have been trading spaces for 4 weeks. You have to wonder who will be the next to join this elite group. The rankings are proudly presented by Tommy Joe's, serving great food in a great atmosphere, located in Bethesda. Visit them at TommyJoes.com. Next week on the DMV Lacrosse Round-Up, we'll meet the motor behind Calverton's high-powered offense, and we'll cover the area's biggest games as we get closer and closer to playoff time. Episode 7 could be the biggest one yet. If you're interested in game film, highlights, or sponsorship, visit us at automaticsports.com.